Welcome to Bible Quiz Tube. We've got 25 challenging Bible questions on the Old Testament to test your Bible knowledge. Let the quiz begin. Question 1. For the man who gathered wood on the Sabbath, what was God's direct judgment? A. He was to pay a fine and offer a sacrifice. B. He was imprisoned for life. C. The entire community was to stone him to death. D. He was exiled from the camp. Spot on. The correct option is C. The entire community was to stone him to death. The explanation. Moses sought God's will directly. The Lord commanded that the entire community must take the man outside the camp and stone him to death. This severe judgment established a critical precedent. It treated the public defiance of the Sabbath, the central sign of Israel's covenant, as high-handed rebellion. Question 2. What was the name of Jonathan's son, whom David showed kindness to for Jonathan's sake? Test your Bible skills on this one. A. Ish-Bosheth. B. Adonijah. C. Asahel. D. Mephibosheth. The valid answer is D. Mephibosheth. The explanation. Mephibosheth was lame in both feet and was the last surviving male heir of Saul's house. David sought him out, restored his family's land, and gave him a permanent place at the royal table. This act fulfilled David's covenant promise to Jonathan and demonstrated his hesed, or covenant loyalty, a key characteristic of a godly king and a reflection of God's own grace. Question 3. How long did it take Solomon to build his own royal palace? A. 10 years. B. 13 years. C. 20 years. D. 7 years. Outstanding. B. 13 years is right. The explanation. While the famous temple of the Lord was completed in 7 years, the Bible specifies in 1 Kings chapter 7 verse 1 that Solomon's own more elaborate royal palace complex took nearly twice as long to build, 13 years. This detail offers perspective on the scale of Solomon's kingdom and building projects, but has also led Sim to question his priorities, spending more time on his own house than on God's. Question 4. Who was the commander of David's army who hired a wise woman from Tekoa to trick the king? Select 1. A. Joab. B. Benaiah. C. Absalom. D. Abner. A. Joab is the correct answer. The explanation. Joab, seeing David's unresolved grief over his exiled son Absalom, orchestrated a plan. He hired a wise woman to present a fictional story to David to soften his heart. The strategy worked, and David allowed Absalom to return to Jerusalem. This event showcases the political maneuvering within David's court and the power of parabolic stories to influence judgment. Question 5. Who was the chief artisan chosen by God to construct the tabernacle? A. Bezalel. B. Huram-Abi. C. Aholiab. D. Hur. You're on track. A. Bezalel is correct. The explanation. God specifically chose Bezalel of the tribe of Judah and filled him with the Spirit of God, giving him wisdom, understanding, and skill in all manner of craftsmanship for the tabernacle's construction. His divine empowerment highlights that artistic and technical skills are gifts from God, intended to be used for His glory. He wasn't just a builder, he was a Spirit-filled artist. Question 6. From which of the 12 tribes of Israel did King Saul come? Dig deep into your Bible knowledge. A. Levi. B. Benjamin. C. Judah. D. Ephraim. You've got this. B. Benjamin is correct. The explanation. Saul, the first king of Israel, was from the tribe of Benjamin, which was the smallest of the 12 tribes. This detail emphasizes that his selection was God's choice, not based on tribal power. This fact also adds a layer of irony to the later tribal conflicts, as David, his successor, was from the large and powerful tribe of Judah, setting up a long-standing rivalry. Question 7. Who was David's spymaster who pretended to defect to Absalom during his rebellion? A. Zadok. B. Joab. C. Hushai. D. Abiathar. Nice work. C. Hushai is the right choice. The explanation. Hushai the Archite, a loyal friend to David, acted as a double agent in Absalom's court. He gave Absalom poor counsel, deliberately contradicting the wise advice of Ahithophel. Hushai's espionage was critical, as it bought David the necessary time to escape and regroup his forces, ultimately leading to the defeat of Absalom's rebellion. It was a victory of wits and loyalty. Question 8. Which prophet saw a vision of the Lord holding a plumb line? A. Micah. B. Hosea. C. Joel. D. Amos. Well done. The answer is D. Amos. The explanation. The prophet Amos was shown a vision of the Lord, standing by a wall with a plumb line, a tool used to measure if a wall is perfectly vertical and true. God was measuring Israel against his standard of justice. The vision symbolized that Israel was crooked and out of line with God's law. Because they failed the test, judgment and destruction were now inevitable. It was a message of coming divine correction. Question 9. What was the name of Aaron's wife? A. Elishba. B. Miriam. C. Jochebed. D. Zipporah. You're crushing it. A. Elishba is right. The explanation. Exodus chapter 6 verse 23 names Elishba as the wife of Aaron, the first high priest. She was the daughter of Amminadab and the sister of Nahshon, a prince of the tribe of Judah. Though she is mentioned only briefly, her marriage to Aaron united the future lines of the priesthood, from Levi, and the monarchy, from Judah's princely family in a single extended family. You're doing great so far. If you're enjoying the quiz, hit the like button and subscribe for more Bible quiz content. Share your score in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Let's dive back in. Question 10. Which prophetess did King Josiah's officials consult after finding the book of the law? Time to shine. A. Deborah. B. Huldah. C. Noadiah. D. Miriam. You got it correct. B. Huldah. The explanation. After the book of the law was rediscovered in the temple, King Josiah's men went to consult Huldah, a prophetess living in Jerusalem. She confirmed the book's authenticity and prophesied judgment. Her role is significant as it shows that God spoke through both men and women, and her authority was respected by the king and the high priest, validating Josiah's great religious reforms. Question 11. Who was Judah's daughter-in-law, who secured her lineage by posing as a prostitute? A. Ruth. B. Rahab, C. Tamar, D. Asenath. You're doing great. C. Tamar is correct. The explanation. After being wronged by Judah and his sons, Tamar disguised herself and tricked her father-in-law Judah into fathering her twin sons, Perez and Zerah, ensuring the continuation of the family line. This complex and morally ambiguous story from Genesis chapter 38 is crucial, as Tamar's son Perez is a direct ancestor of King David and, ultimately, Jesus Christ, as listed in Matthew's genealogy. Question 12. Who was Saul's son that reigned over Israel for 2 years in opposition to David? A. Jonathan, B. Abner, C. Adonijah, D. Ish-Bosheth. Keep it up. The right answer is D. Ish-Bosheth. The explanation. After Saul's death, his general Abner made Saul's son Ish-Bosheth king over the northern tribes, while Judah anointed David as their king, leading to a civil war in Israel. Ish-Bosheth's short and weak reign highlights the difficult transition of power and the divided state of the nation before David ultimately unified all 12 tribes under his rule. Question 13. On what mountain did Elijah challenge the prophets of Baal? Challenge your Bible IQ. A. Mount Nebo, B. Mount Carmel, C. Mount Sinai, D. Mount Zion. The correct answer is B. Mount Carmel. The explanation. Elijah orchestrated a dramatic showdown on Mount Carmel, a coastal mountain range in Israel, challenging 450 prophets of Baal to see which deity would answer by fire. This specific location was significant as it was a historic site of worship that had been defiled by Baal worship. Elijah's victory there was a powerful public reclamation of both land and loyalty for Yahweh. Question 14. What object did the Israelite high priest use for divine guidance? A. A staff and rod, B. A golden calf, C. A scroll of the law, D. The Urim and Thummim. The correct choice is D. The Urim and Thummim. The explanation. The Urim and Thummim were 2 objects of unknown nature kept in the high priest's breastplate, used to discern God's will in specific situations, often giving a yes or no answer. They represented a form of authorized priestly divination. Their use faded after the monarchy was established, as guidance began coming more often through prophets and the written word. Question 15. What was Daniel's Babylonian name? A. Belshazzar, B. Shadrach, C. Ashpenaz, D. Abednego. Superb. The answer is A. Belshazzar. The explanation. Upon entering the service of King Nebuchadnezzar, Daniel was given the Babylonian name Belshazzar, meaning Bel, protect his life. His 3 friends were named Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The name change was a common tactic in the ancient world to force assimilation and strip a person of their cultural and religious identity, something Daniel and his friends famously resisted. You're doing great so far. If you're enjoying the quiz, hit the like button and subscribe for more Bible quiz content. Share your score in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Let's dive back in. Question 16. Who was the general that rebuked King David for numbering the people of Israel? Only true Bible fans will get this. A. Asahel, B. Benaiah, C. Joab. D. Abner. Excellent. The answer is C. Joab. The explanation. When David sinfully commanded a military census, his own tough and pragmatic General Joab strongly advised against it, questioning his motives and warning him it would bring guilt on Israel. David overruled him, and the act resulted in a devastating plague. Joab's objection shows that even a morally compromised man like him could see the spiritual danger of the king's prideful act. Question 17. Which Old Testament prophet was a shepherd and a dresser of sycamore fig trees? Test your knowledge. A. Amos. B. Jonah. C. Hosea. D. Obadiah. Right on target. The answer is A. Amos. The explanation. Amos was not a professional prophet from the priestly or royal classes. He explicitly states he was a shepherd from Tekoa and a tender of sycamore fig trees before God called him. His rustic, non-establishment background gave his message of social justice against the corrupt elite of the northern kingdom of Israel a sharp, authentic, and outsider's edge. Question 18. What was the name of the king of Israel who reigned for only 7 days? A. Tibni. B. Zimri. C. Elah. D. Omri. Brilliant. Option B. Zimri is spot on. The explanation. Zimri, a chariot commander, assassinated King Elah to seize the throne. When the army heard of his coup, they proclaimed their general Omri as king and besieged Zimri in the capital city of Tirzah. Seeing his cause was lost, Zimri locked himself in the citadel of the palace and set it on fire, ending his own life and a reign that lasted only 1 week, the shortest in Israel's history. Question 19. Which Persian king issued the decree allowing the Jews to return from exile and rebuild the temple? A. Xerxes. B. Darius. C. Artaxerxes. D. Cyrus. D. Cyrus is the accurate choice. The explanation. Cyrus the Great, founder of the Persian Empire, conquered Babylon in 539 BC. In a stunning reversal of Babylonian policy, he issued a decree allowing captive peoples, including the Jews, to return home. This historic act, prophesied by Isaiah over 150 years earlier, Isaiah chapter 44 verse 28, marks the end of the Babylonian exile and is a pivotal moment in God's plan of restoration for Israel. Question 20. On which river in Babylon did the prophet Ezekiel see his famous visions? Think it over. A. The Tigris River. B. The Jordan River. C. The Kibar River. D. The Euphrates River. The expected answer is C. The Kibar River. The explanation. Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 1 specifies that the prophet was among the exiles by the Kibar River, or canal, in the land of the Babylonians, when the heavens were opened and he saw visions of God. This detail grounds the otherworldly visions in a real, historical location of suffering and exile, emphasizing that God's glory is not confined to Jerusalem, but can appear to his people even in a foreign land. Question 21. Who was the first king of the northern kingdom of Israel after the nation split? A. Ahab. B. Omri. C. Rehoboam. D. Jeroboam. Spot on. The correct option is D. Jeroboam. The explanation. After Solomon's death, his son Rehoboam's harsh policies caused the 10 northern tribes to secede. They appointed Jeroboam, an official who had previously fled from Solomon, as their first king. To prevent his people from worshipping in Jerusalem, Jeroboam established a rival religious system with golden calves in Dan and Bethel, a sin that plagued the northern kingdom for its entire existence. Question 22. From whom did the prophet Jeremiah buy a field as a sign of future restoration? Time to think. A. Baruch, his scribe. B. Hanamel, his cousin. C. King Zedekiah. D. Pashur, the priest. The valid answer is B. Hanamel, his cousin. The explanation. While Jerusalem was under siege by the Babylonians, Jeremiah performed a symbolic act of hope. He followed legal custom to buy a field in his hometown from his cousin Hanamel. This seemingly foolish investment during a hopeless time was a powerful prophecy from God that one day the people of Israel would return from exile and once again buy and sell land in Judah. Question 23. According to Proverbs chapter 31, the price of a virtuous woman is far above what? A. Gold. B. Sapphires. C. Rubies. D. Diamonds. Outstanding. C. Rubies is right. The explanation. Proverbs chapter 31 verse 10 opens the famous poem about the woman of noble character by stating, "Her worth is far above rubies." This sets the tone for describing her immense value and contribution. The choice of rubies, a gemstone prized for its rarity, durability, and deep color, was a powerful metaphor for the precious and hard-to-find nature of a woman with such wisdom, strength, and character. You're doing great so far. If you're enjoying the quiz, hit the like button and subscribe for more Bible quiz content. Share your score in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Let's dive back in. Question 24. This man is famous for his patience and faith while enduring extreme, inexplicable suffering. Pick from A. Job. B. Jonah. C. Amos. D. Hosea. A. Job is the correct answer. The explanation. Job, a righteous man, lost his wealth, his children, and his health in a series of catastrophic events, yet he maintained his integrity and did not sin by cursing God. His story wrestles with the problem of suffering and the nature of true faith, ultimately revealing that God's wisdom is beyond human understanding and that faith is not a transaction but a relationship of trust. Question 25. How much was a donkey head sold for during the Syrian siege of Samaria? A. 80 shekels of silver. B. 20 shekels of gold. C. 10 shekels of silver. D. 30 pieces of silver. You're on track. A. 80 shekels of silver is correct. The explanation. During the intense famine caused by Ben-Hadad's siege, non-kosher and worthless food became extraordinarily expensive. 2 Kings chapter 6 verse 25 records the shocking price of a donkey head at 80 shekels. This specific, gruesome detail serves to illustrate the absolute desperation of the people, and sets the stage for Elisha's incredible prophecy of a miraculous overnight reversal of their fortunes. Woo, what a blessed journey! How did you do on the 25 questions? Share your score and comments below. Thank you for joining us on Bible Quiz Tube.